Hi, I'm Dave Vickers and welcome to the Photo Show. In today's episode we're going to have a look at photographing water drops. We'll show you how to set up a really simple rig to give you consistent drips of water, and then how to set up the camera to capture those really classic water drop images. Remember, if you like what you see on the Photo Show, please comment, like and subscribe in the boxes below. Let's have a look at the video for photographing water drops. Okay, so the first thing I've done here is I've just set up a very simple black backdrop. It's a piece of black cloth draped across the table. I've got a couple of stands either side just to hold it up the back. And this is going to be the background for our shot. You could use different colours, you could light it from behind to get some lights through it. But what I thought is, just so we can show the water drops really clearly, we'll just shoot it against a black background. There's some wrinkles in this, but this shouldn't matter because this is not really going to be in the shot. Our focus of our shot is on the water and how we're going to actually make the drop appear in the shot. So first thing I've got is just a kitchen tray, cooking dish, and I'm going to place that. And this is going to be so that we don't end up splashing water everywhere. I'm going to get some towels in as well, and just as any advice, do it when your wife's out. So there we go. We've got the tray there. Next thing we're going to need is a glass and some water. So let's get that. Right, so I've got just a very simple plain tumbler glass. You could use whatever you wanted. You could use a wine glass, you could use a bowl. All this really is something that we can hold the water in, and we're going to brim it to the top here. This is what the tray's for, because this glass is going to be brimmed to the top with water so that we can catch the splash as it rises above the top. So I'm going to place it in the tray like that, and now what we need to do is to fill it up with some water. So we've got a jug of water now, and we're going to fill up the glass. I'm going to fill it right to the brim. And again, we've got the tray, so it doesn't matter if it spills over. Right, there we go. We've got the glass absolutely full to the brim. So the next thing we need to do now is to set up our system so that we can get drips consistently hitting in the glass of water. So let's have a look at setting that up. Okay, so now the glass is set up, the next thing we're going to use, I'm just going to take just a basic food bag, just a plastic food bag, and I've set up a rail across the top on a couple of stands. You could do this with a tripod or anything you've got that you can get above the glass of water. And I'm going to put this on the rail, and we're going to fill it with water. So simply just using the handles of the bag, I've just hung it across the rail, and I'm going to swing that across till we're above our glass of water. Can you guess what's coming next? I bet you can. So we've got our food bag now hung across the rail, which is directly above our glass of water. And what I'm going to do now is put some water into the food bag. This is where it's likely to go wrong. As I'm sure you heard there, not all of that went in the bag, but luckily, because we've got the tray underneath, we didn't spill it anywhere. So, now, as you can see, we've got the food bag with water inside it. And luckily, it didn't have any holes in it previously, so we're not leaking out. But, what I want to do now is deliberately put a hole in it. So, I need to find a pin. Let me just find a pin. Okay, so I didn't actually manage to find a pin. What I found is a compass. Something nice and pointy. So, what I want to do is just to put a tiny hole in the bag, preferably at the corner probably, just so we can get a consistent drip of water. The pin's gone in. And you know what? I've punched too big a hole in it.
Do I take it out or do I leave it in? Do I take it out or do I leave it in?
It did need to be a pin. Right, unfortunately, I've punched too big a hole in it, and what we have is a stream of water, not a pin of water. So I'm going to have to redo the bag. Let's have a look. As you can see here, what we have is a stream of water. And what we need is a drip of water. Oops. Luckily, the food bags are cheap, so we can do that again. I'll put that one back in the cupboard. Who's going to notice? Okay, after our first failed attempt, top tip for everybody, don't use a compass. Compass is too big a hole, just causes stream. So now I have, you can see this, managed to find a pin. There's a pin because it's got a little blue end on it. So I'm going to try and poke a tiny hole this time and see, because what we're looking for is just a consistent set of drips. Not the stream that we had the first time. So let's see if just a small hole in the bag will give us the drips we're looking for. And there we go. Right, we're getting a consistent dripping from the bag. Now all I need to do is to line the glass up so that we're directly centre, so those drips are hitting dead centre in the glass. Okay, so now that's the basic setup. We've got the glass in the tray, we've got the backdrop so that we're getting the black backdrop, we've set the water bag up above with the pinhole in, and we're dripping dead centre into the glass of water. So the next thing to do now is we'll set up the camera and get that focused on that point. So the camera's set up now, and you can see I've put it into live view, and we can see we're getting the water drop hitting directly in the centre of the frame. So now the camera's set up and it's lined up with where we want the water drops. The next thing we're going to have to do is to focus the camera. So keeping the camera in autofocus, we can see exactly where the drops are landing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a spoon directly in the line of fire and now focus the camera on that spoon. So you can see now I've had to adjust the framing of the camera so we can get the focus in, but the water is dripping bang in the focus line and it's perfectly sharp. So let's take a shot like that. And there you go, completely blank. Which is exactly what I wanted, because I'm going to add one more element to this. What I'm going to add is a speed light to one side that we're going to fire at the same time as the drop hits. And that will give us the frozen drop of water in the ground. So let's set the speed light up. So I've set up a little speed light here. It's an old Nikon speed light. If I put the lights on the back here, we can see what we've done. And I've put sort of a very wide-ranging setting. I've set the ISO on the flash to 250. I've set the F number to F8. But I've turned the power down to an 8th power. And the reason I've done that is when you lower the power on the flash duration will actually be faster. The duration of the actual flashlight will be faster than it would be on full power. So it's giving us every advantage. So let's have a look now. Now we've got this set up. And the key now is just timing your shot. So watching when the water drops and timing when you push the shutter. As you can see, not like that. So there you go, after setting up the rig and the camera, we did start to get some good images of the water drops. It was very much trial and error. The biggest problem I found was timing the shutter to when the drop fell. And the best technique I came up with was hitting the shutter just as the drop hit the surface of the water. That was then giving us that classic eye-shaped looking image with the stem and the single drop of water above it. But it was trial and error. We had a lot of missed shots. What I'm going to do now is just show you some of the best images that we got from the shoot. Until next time, I'm Dave Vickers. This is The Photo Show. Thanks for watching.